Let's talk to Eylon Levy, who's a former Israeli government spokesman, of course. The story that broke yesterday while we were on the air on this very show. Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel will seize territory in Gaza in a forceful operation and hold any land it captures seemingly indefinitely in what is being seen as a major expansion of military operations. Eylon, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
So, slight change of tactic from Netanyahu. It would seem that he's decided that, the ceasefire hasn't really worked. The hostages are still being held. So this is another phase.
Yeah, Britain is now celebrating 80 years since VE Day, and Israelis are looking forward to the day that we can mark VG Day, victory in Gaza.
Yeah.
Total victory over an evil regime that threatens the whole free world. We want this to be the last Gaza war, and the way to make it the last Gaza war is to make sure that the Hamas regime that started this war cannot remain in power. The problem with the military strategy so far is Israel has been playing cat and mouse. It goes into Gaza, fights Hamas in a certain area, and then withdraws, and Hamas simply goes back and takes control. The strategy now says two things. One, last chance to Hamas for a deal to release the hostages. You have to release them now, or else we're going all in. And then a full campaign to destroy Hamas, just like the British did, by the way, in Iraq against ISIS. The strategy is you clear, you hold, you build. But if you don't stay in that territory, Hamas will come back to that territory, and then the war will drag on forever.
Does that mean that the original tactic was a mistake then?
Well, clearly the original tactic after a year and a half has not succeeded in removing Hamas from power, because Israeli soldiers kept going back into the same areas that they had already cleared. So the IDF is saying now we're going to stop this game of cat and mouse. The only way to remove Hamas from power is to capture territory from it, and then stay there, because otherwise Hamas is just going to fill the vacuum.
Yeah.
And the quicker Israel is able to destroy Hamas, the quicker this war can end and we can all move on.
Geographically speaking, I'm reading that people will be told to move south. So, I mean, how far sort of north are you going to be then?
Well, the Gaza Strip is a very small area. It's only 25 miles from top to bottom. The whole thing is walking distance of a few hours. Israel's strategy now is based on separating civilians from militants. It's what it's been trying to do since the beginning of the war. Shamefully, UN agencies refused to support Israel's evacuation efforts. It told civilians, get out of Hamas strongholds, we're coming in, and UN agencies impeded their evacuation. That's unconscionable, that's unforgivable, that cannot happen again. So Israel is saying civilians have to move for their own safety out of Hamas strongholds, and then Israel can fight directly against the Hamas terrorists who are trying to embed themselves within Gaza's civilian landscape.
And there have been some civilian demonstrations against Hamas, haven't there, in recent weeks? I mean, does that indicate to you perhaps that the people are getting more, shall we say, tired of all of this Hamas business?
It's definitely amazing to see protests in Gaza against Hamas. This is a new development. Let's remember, Hamas remained, the October 7th massacre remained overwhelmingly popular inside the Gaza Strip for over a year. For over a year, polls were showing that most Gazans thought that going into Israel and butchering people at a music festival, that was a good idea. But as the war has turned against them and the cost of losing this war has become more bleak, we're seeing people blaming Hamas. And that is exactly what they should be doing. You know, the protesters on London are blaming Israel. Protesters in Gaza are blaming Hamas and saying, you brought this war on us, you have to go out. But Hamas is responding with brutal repression. They have executed people leading those protests. They've imposed a curfew. They're reorganizing their secret police. And I think it's disgusting that people around the world who claim to support the Palestinians haven't a word of condemnation for Hamas that is brutally suppressing peaceful protesters who know exactly what the useful idiots in the West won't admit, that this war is because of Hamas. And if Hamas surrenders and releases the hostages, this war can end immediately.
Indeed. Well, we wish you luck with it, Eylon. Thank you very much indeed. Eylon Levy there, former Israeli government spokesman.